Listen, that was Viva la Revolution by the Addicts. I'll play it again, or I'll play another track by another band who are playing the Rebellion Festival. But it was fantastic to have Johnny Wawa on in the interim, and whilst I managed to get hold of Nidge. So Nidge, you're here with me now. So Nidge O'Sullivan, welcome to Out of the Bag.
Well, Sean, thanks so much for inviting me on, and this is my first, as they would say, I'm not accustomed to public speaking, but thank you very much for my debut on your show.
You're more than welcome. Well, I better tell people where we met. We met a few times, but more recently, in actually getting to chat and everything, was down in Corofin at Tommy Collins's place. Yeah?
That's right. That would have been the first time we would have met in person, even though we probably would have known of our existence of each other prior to that.
Indeed. Well, listen, I have to say we're running a little bit late, and I have Liam Sheff waiting in America for a wee chat with me. Now, he was due on at 10 o'clock, so I've just sent him a message to say could he hang on 10 minutes, and he said he could indeed. So we have...
well, thank you. What was his name there again, sorry?
Liam Sheff, yeah, if you tune in afterwards.
Liam, well, thank you, Liam. It was wonderful of you to allow me a few minutes just to kind of introduce myself to the listeners. I'm hoping that Sean might have me on again in the future, to talk more in depth about one or two things. As Sean said, I was actually the guy who videoed the one that got all the hits from the Corofin attempted eviction there just over a month ago, and as you say, Sean, with the crew that have been going in and out there, I've been involved since with that and the subsequent attempted evictions that are going on now in Kerry as well. In fact, I think it's safe to say that there is like almost one coming every couple of weeks now, even in just this small area, you know. And if we don't stand up to this, it's just pure illegality. Like, you've had many guests that know far better about the legal side of this, but the fact that you know, this whole attitude of "I'm all right, Jack," it needs to end, and I think that people are actually beginning to realise that they're not all right.
No, exactly.
And Jack might be waking up slightly. I think it's a great time to live. It's a great time that we're in. Actually, I'm just back from Corofin now, just a couple of hours ago, and we had a great night last night because of the solstice. I'm not sure if people might have technicalities on which night the solstice actually lay this year, but we decided it was last night. And we had a bonfire and we had a great chat, mad, crazy, random chats, but all very kind of like with love in our hearts and truth as our goal, you know, and our minds are expanding all the time, and like I'm very much into that. Like, I'm a filmmaker, I'm an artist. I've painted 2 of the panels now up in Corofin. I just finished the second one today. I've actually shared it on my Facebook page there.
I've seen that, Nidge. It's lovely, so it is.
Oh, thank you so much. I appreciate it, and I'm very happy with the reaction so far off the people that have seen it. It's a joy for me to do that because It just kind of brings, you know, love and beauty into a dark place, but it's not a dark place. Because I really feel that place is a kind of what was the word I used? Yes, I can't remember, but anyway, it's a kind of an absolute central kind of.
Well, it was a dark place. Nidge, it was a dark place for Tommy. It really was, and now it isn't a dark place for Tommy. Okay, so that's pretty important. I think Brian and Gary were there last night as well, and the 21st.
That's correct. It was wonderful to see Gary. Actually, I was in the little caravan that one of Tommy's friends, kindly donated there a good few weeks ago, and like that just goes to show the community spirit that's around. Like, the neighbours are coming, people are passing in, you know, random people are coming in to support. It's all wonderful. Like, and like the energy, as you say, Sean. The energy that has changed there, it's just totally flipped, you know, and this on a kind of a micro scale is kind of like repeating on micro scales right across the world, and the entire universe is kind of flipping. And like, even after, like, I feel privileged to have been one of the 5 that were involved in that confrontation we had with the Balaclava men.
Yes.
But afterwards, when we all kind of went in and finally got the cup of tea, it was like mentioned quite often by myself and others that, like, oh my God, something big has just happened,
yes,
you know,
yes.
and like we've been building on that ever since. You know, of course, you wouldn't see it in mainstream media, but
no, and
it's like your own show and elsewhere, of course, it
exactly.
is.
I would recommend people check in on my afternoon shows, my midday shows, over the last month or so, because we did have a couple of live ones from Corofin.
Correct, yes.
With Brian McCarthy and with Tommy and Gary and a few others. So it really is an incredible thing we're doing. You know, you say it's happening all over. You know, I'm here with a platform on People's Internet Radio. Just today, I had 2 possible evictions, or at least help needed for possible evictions, come into me, and I'm just Sean Maguire and out of the bag. Do you know what I mean? I'm not
exactly.
or Ben Gilroy or any of those people, or even the anti-eviction task force. But I'm hoping that I've managed to pass on information from today to Brian McCarthy.
Brilliant.
And I hope that will have some effect. And obviously, the people didn't know there was help out there. Now they do, and that's always a great thing.
This is the thing. It's just like, as they say, there's no such thing as bad publicity. But like, we just got to keep the hammers on the irons all the time. Keep the pressure on, because there's been a flip in energy inside in the courts. I'd often be in the courts as well. That's part of what I would do as well with Brian and the anti-eviction task force. But like, the energy has massively changed in the courts in the last few rounds. We'd cover like Kerry, Clare and Limerick, and the absolute fear now is within the pit. You know, it's no longer in the back cheap seats, it's in the pit now. They're looking at us with fear in their eyes, and we're actually, because whatever happens, it just kind of happens naturally, but we always appreciate it, that there's always humour with us. There's always good heart and smiling and happiness going on in the background. Mm-hmm. And they really can't deal with that. This is actually the weapon. I think the gun of the 21st century is the camera, and the weapon is just love and truth. It's just like, once you know you're doing something right, you just can't help smiling, you know, and when they see that, you know, with their, whatever twisted way they're thinking about things or whatever, they see a smile as sinister, as dangerous, that you know something that they don't know. And the actual fact actually is that we do know something they don't know. We know quite a lot of things that they don't know.
Absolutely, absolutely.
We're putting all of that stuff into practice. They're trying to stall us as much as possible, obviously, use as many of their cover-up fake laws that they make up and play their own game with. But like, the time is coming. The time is coming. It you know, really is. So, this year, 2016, being 100 years after, you know, and like, Ireland is a very significant place spiritually. It's really the birthplace, you know, many would say that it was the birthplace of humanity as we know it on this level. And
well, Nidge, I tell you what, my friend, we're going to have to cut you short.
I'm sorry, Sean.
No.
Yes, not a bother. And thank you again to Liam over in America for
no worries,
allowing me to ramble there for a little bit. And
no, it's cool, and we will
get me back on again some other time.
We will have you back on. It'll be more organised and more, you know,
absolutely,
more sorted. We'll have a good chat.
Well, thanks so much for giving me their little life in the media.
Well, you never know. I'm hoping that the Anti-Eviction Task Force and many others will have their own shows on PIR soon. So,
well, that would be a wonderful goal. Actually, it was a great idea of yours. Actually, yes.
Okay. So listen, well, Nidge, I'm going to have to shoot.
I'll let you go, Sean. Thank you so much, and I'll see you soon. And I'm enjoying your book all the
time. Brilliant, lovely. Thank you so much. Listen, I'm going to finish off. Nidge OSullivan, thank you so much for
coming. Good luck. Thanks, Sean. Good night.
Thank you, my friend. And we're going to put Love Will Tear Us Apart by Joy Division, that I didn't play all the way through. I don't think, did I?